Hey guys, it's John from Album Review TV. It's time for another end of the year, end of 2012 countdown video. Today I'm going to be presenting my top 15 albums of 2012 to you guys. I've finally cemented the list the way I wanted it to be, so here we go. Let's kick it off with number 15.
Now, Threads.
I first discovered this record and the band Now. They were opening for the Naked and Famous, and I was really intrigued the first time I heard their music. You know, I just don't really pay that much attention to some of the opening bands sometimes because they don't really catch my ear, but these guys definitely did. They have a nice stage presence to them, they're very chill, and I liked the way the bass and the guitar sounded and the vocalist. It just really caught my attention. Afterwards, I ended up going to check out the band and their album, and I ended up getting a signed copy. And I don't mean one that's just like mass printed or anything. I actually got to meet and hang out with the band as well as a signed copy of their album, all three band members right there. This record is just kind of full of cool indie rock songs that have, a lot of them have a chill vibe to them and a lot of heavy bass lines and stuff like that, and it just stands out more to me than a lot of albums these days. You can actually hear the guitars, the drums, and the bass. This band is definitely going places. With this record, is definitely a telltale sign of that.
Magic Wands, Aloha Moon.
Number 14, Aloha Moon by Magic Wands. Another band that, it's funny how this worked out, another band that I've also gotten to kind of talk to and not meet in person, but meet over Skype. And it's really cool. This is Dexy and Chris Valentine. The music they make is just so other dimensional. You know, Magic Wands, I feel like they kind of live up to their name just because it's just, I don't know, I wouldn't, maybe not magic, but it's just spacey. It's kind of funny that they have a song called Space on the record, probably my favorite on Aloha Moon, but there's just a lot of catchy, melodic songs on this record that are cool for a breezy day on the beach.
Hoodie Allen, All American.
Number 13 is All American by Hoodie Allen. He's a white rapper. I don't mean to categorize him like that, but he is a white rapper because he says it in No Interruption, a song off of the EP. There's a lot of great flows from Hoodie and a lot of great beats as well. What's different from his past mixtapes here is that he created all the beats from scratch for this one, and that makes it stand out as more fresh and more original. And songs like this, No Interruption, like I just mentioned, High Again is another one of my favorites. 18 Cool and No Faith in Brooklyn are also awesome. There's a couple of collaborations on this record, not too much, and I like that Hoodie controlled most of it. He's an independent act, so make sure you go out and support him.
Yellowcard, Southern Air.
Clocking in at number 12 is Southern Air by rock band Yellowcard. They had just put out an album in 2011, but they had so much creative flow going in the studio, I think, that they were just ready to put out a new album. We got the first single in May. It's called Always Summer. That, as well as Awakening and Rivertown Blues, were close to making my top 50 songs of the year list. It's another solid Yellowcard effort. Really, I feel like they grow each album. Ryan is a great lyricist, the lead singer. He just pens these great songs. There's just so many good songs here. They go perfectly together in album form. While I might not have enjoyed it quite as much as 2011's When You're Through Thinking Say Yes, it still was definitely an easy choice to put into my top 15 albums of the year.
Fun, Some Nights.
Number 11, Some Nights by indie rock band Fun. 2012 has definitely been the year of fun because indie has started to infiltrate the mainstream. Indie's the new cool, and Fun was kind of one of the breakthrough bands, along with the Lumineers and Mumford & Sons, that really started breaking through to commercial success here in 2012. Fun infuses hip-hop beats at times, along with traditional styles of indie, classic rock even at times, things that will remind you of the bigness and the epicness of some Queen songs, like the title track, Some Nights. We're Young was a huge anthem hit for the band. I don't think anyone's probably gone without hearing those two songs. But there's a lot more to that record than those two singles right there. Carry On, the third single, is amazing. Probably my personal favorite off of the album now that I've listened to it so much more is probably Why Am I the One. The chorus on that song is amazingly catchy. I've seen this band perform twice live. Both times were amazing. Bonnaroo was the first time I saw it, and I was a little bit tired at that set, but I just really kicked in the second time I saw them live. and I saw them in Charlotte, North Carolina. I saw them in Raleigh, North Carolina, and I just thought their show was amazing. Even though I was standing right next to a speaker and my eardrum about got blown out, it was just the energy they brought was quite amazing. It definitely exceeded my expectations.
Muse, The Second Law.
Number 10 is The Second Law by Muse. Muse mixed it up yet again here. They're notorious for doing that on all of their albums, kind of bringing a different style to each record, I believe. They've moved kind of from more of a progressive rock and space rock, kind of what they were classified in their early days. They've moved from that to really just experimental rock, I feel like, because they do a little bit of everything here. They even play with the electronics on songs like The Second Law, Unsustainable, and Isolated System. Those are really cool tracks, but they're definitely not anything like anything Muse has done before. Then, of course, you've got songs like Survival that are just over the top huge, that I didn't even like that song at first, but now it almost cracked my top 50 list for the year. It was close. It was probably my top 55. That's how close it was. Supremacy sounds like it could be on the James Bond soundtrack. I heard it actually might have been on the new Bond film soundtrack. I don't know if that was true or not. There's just so many stellar tracks on this record. Panic Station sounds like a U2 / Red Hot Chili Peppers jam that just throws you back to the old days. There's just a little bit of everything on this record. I think Muse fans can definitely get into this one.
Green Day, Trey.
Number 9 is Trey by Green Day. This one barely made the cutoff date. I wanted to include it in this year just because Green Day released the whole trilogy in 2012. It wasn't going to be released until January, but they ended up pushing up the release date. I've just been listening to it tons since then. It's a really solid record, and while it may be my least favorite out of the Green Day trilogy that they just put out, it's still a stellar record. Yes, it's a little bit slower than Dos and Uno, but the fact is there's a lot of great lyrical songs on here, meaning they're very well written. Brutal Love caught me off guard at first. That song is it's completely different from anything I've ever heard from the band before, but in a good way. It sounds awesome. And of course, Dirty Rotten Bastards, my overall favorite on the album, is just an epic melody track, something like 21st Century Breakdown, American Eulogy, Jesus of Suburbia type thing. As a whole, Trey does have more slower songs, like I said, but really I think any Green Day fan should enjoy at least a few songs off of this record. Amanda and Dirty Rotten Bastards are my two personal favorites off of this one.
Jack White, Blunderbuss.
Number 8, Blunderbuss by Jack White, formerly of the White Stripes, currently still of the Raconteurs and the Dead Weather. Jack White is an extremely talented musician. I've always been a huge fan of his ever since I discovered White Stripes around the time of Get Behind Me, Satan. And Jack White has really taken pretty much everything he's done in his career here and encapsulated it all into one solo effort. Originally he wasn't even intending to put out a solo album, but apparently he got a bunch of collection of songs together and said this could be used for nothing other than a solo record. He's definitely been all over the place musically, and here he finds himself playing more blues rock, but with more experimentation. He's such a talented guitar player, and I'm glad there's a lot of great guitar solos on this record. I've been listening to it a lot, especially lately. I really like Hypocritical Kiss, Freedom at 21, 16 Saltines is my overall favorite, Missing Pieces. There's just a ton of great, solid rock tracks on this record.
The Offspring, Days Go By.
Number 7 is definitely one that caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting to love this album so much, but really I've just found myself enjoying almost every track on it. A ton. It's Days Go By The Offspring. They've kind of definitely moved away from their original punk roots, but most punk rock bands have had to evolve and grow, with the changing times. But there are a lot of fast-paced songs on this record, and I dare say 2 punk rock jams closing out the record, especially Slim Pickens Does the Right Thing and Rides the Bomb to Hell. Dividing by Zero is also pretty punk, if I don't say so myself, but I think Slim Pickens has to be my overall favorite on the record, along with the title track Days Go By, Secrets from the Underground, and The Future Is Now. I really like those a lot. Hurting is one, and I even like OC Guns. I know a lot of people didn't like that one, but I don't know, something about the style and the change of pace from the rest of the record on OC Guns made me love it a lot, so I hope you guys enjoyed this record too.
Owl City, The Midsummer Station.
Number 6 is The Midsummer Station by Owl City. I know what you're thinking, John, why is this on the list? I thought you didn't even like this record. I thought it was a total change of pace. Well, it was, but it totally grew on me. You know, the more and more I listen to it, all I can say about this record is that it's incredibly catchy. I can't say it's well written, really. I mean, there's some songs that are, like Silhouette, but you know, the lyrics, while they are kind of shallow at times, it's just really here about having fun and having a good time. Good Time, the Owl City and Carly Rae collaboration. No, I'm just so sick of that song. They've played it to death. Beating a dead horse. The Midsummer Station is full of amazing and catchy songs. Metropolis, which is my overall favorite. Bombshell Blonde, which really grew on me. It's kind of more dubsteppy and electronic than anything else on the album, really. Top of the World, the bonus track, I love that one a lot. I'm glad I ended up getting the deluxe edition so I could get that track.
Green Day, Dose.
Dose by Green Day is clocking in at number 5 on the list. Dose is more of a garage rock feel album compared to the power pop style of Uno and kind of the, I don't know, more variety that Trey was. Trey was more of a cool down and a little bit of everything on that record. Dose is bringing the party. Make Out Party, Lazy Bones, those are among the faster tracks, while it does have its slower jams like Wild One and the incredibly well written tribute to Amy Winehouse called Amy. This record just has a little bit of everything, and definitely my second favorite out of the Green Day trilogy.
The Black Keys, El Camino.
Number 4 is El Camino by the Black Keys. This one just missed the list last year because it was a little bit too late. It came out in December and I didn't really get a chance to listen to it until right after it came out. This record is just an overall good listen from start to finish, really. It's just a lot of rock jams. It gets a little, I don't know, I wouldn't say bluesy, but maybe a little bit at times. It's definitely just more of a garage rock fun album a lot of the time. You've got your singles like Lonely Boy and Gold on the Ceiling that are just really fun and catchy. Then you've got Little Black Submarines, which was released as a single as well. This one is just a slow burner that really builds up into a huge rocker. Hell of a Season, Sister, a lot of other great tracks on this record. It's just Danger Mouse has done a lot with this band, co-writing with them and just making them into a, I guess I would say more mainstream, more accessible, and I don't want to hate on any of their other albums like Brothers, Attack and Release or anything like that, because those are great records as well, but this is just something I think everyone can get into.
Green Day, Uno.
Number 3 is Uno by Green Day, the first album out of the trilogy, and I guess I just like this one the most because as a whole, I feel like it flows best together, and there's just a lot of great songs, and there's really nothing I would take off of this record. Fell For You would probably be my least favorite on the record, but I can't really take it out just because of the fact that, you know, it flows well with the rest of the record. It just kind of kicks off the trilogy with Nuclear Family and Stay the Night, and you've got all these great tracks that just go so well together, and it closes on Oh Love, a track that I didn't really like that much at first, but it's definitely turned into something that I'm much more into now at this point. Green Day, really, this was your year for albums, and you nailed it here with 3 solid albums. I don't really know who else could do that.
Linkin Park, Living Things.
Number 2 is Living Things by Linkin Park. For most of the year, this was my favorite until it was beaten out by something, but Living Things is just an incredible comeback from A Thousand Suns. I was really, you know, a little bit worried at times thinking about, oh god, what is this new Linkin Park record going to sound like? They want to get even more experimental than A Thousand Suns? But no, I feel like what they did here is they took 2 things and mixed them. They mixed the electronic sounds from A Thousand Suns with everything like Meteora type days, maybe even Minutes to Midnight, that kind of sound, and put them together. Songs like Lies, Greed, Misery really show that off. That sounds like it could have fit on an album that came right after Meteora. Lies, Greed, Misery is probably my overall favorite, probably really close with Lost in the Echo. Those 2 are both just amazing tracks. Lost in the Echo I think is the most well done because it's very accessible to everyone. There are a little bit of screamed vocals in Lost in the Echo, along with some great rap verses from Mike Shinoda, and Chester's vocals just sound really good on that one. And I don't know, they just really did it right here. I think they listened to the fans, kind of. A lot of fans were feeling, you know, a little bit alienated on Thousand Suns, kind of like, what direction is this band going in? We're not really sure. I don't know, congratulations Linkin Park, you've returned and you've given us a lot of great songs, and Burn It Down was a great single.
All Time Low, Don't Panic.
It's It's time for the #1 album. Are you excited? Because I am. I listened to this album like a lot because it's just so damn fun. I wasn't really sure how I was going to feel about this record either, like I said about Living Things, but after Dirty Work, you know, it was kind of hit and miss for me. But they're back on Hopeless Records now. They're making great pop-punk music. They've gotten back to their roots, and they've turned out their best record yet. There's not one song on this record that I would omit, skip at this point, anything. I think it was between The Irony of Choking on a Lifesaver and Thanks to You for my runner-up favorites on this record. Those are both just two amazing jams, but For Baltimore definitely steals the show here. That track, like I talked about in my top 50 songs, it's just wow, blows you away. Thanks to You has this awesome guitar breakdown in it. I love the lyrics and the funness, even though it's more of a, I don't know, it's a song about a breakup, a former, probably ex-girlfriend. That's what's being talked about in The Irony of Choking on a Lifesaver, but that song is just really fun. Other great songs like Outlines and So Long and Thanks for All the Booze, that one closes out the album perfectly. Not a complaint on this album. It takes the #1 spot on Album Review TV, my top 15 albums of 2012. I want to know what you guys thought. I want to know what your top 5 albums of 2012 were. Please leave it in the comments section down below. I will reply to as many of them as I can. Please check out the links down below as well. I will see you guys very soon for more reviews and a couple of more countdown videos. Thanks for watching right here, your home for music news and reviews, Album Review TV.